Alright, welcome to Falcon Blues TV, and what an announcement by Everton today. The signing of Jack Grealish on loan from Manchester City for the season. Brilliant, excellent, amazing. Really pleased that we've got this one over the line. This was probably one of the ones that was a real statement of intent from the owners and the club itself. It's one of them that you need, that kind of player who just takes you to the next level, and Jack Grealish is definitely one of those players. You know, 3-time Premier League winner, FA Cup winner, Champions League winner, Super World Cup, Club Cup winner. He's done it all, and you know, still only 29 years of age, 28, 29, still got plenty of time ahead of him, and a chance for him to, okay, I'm not trying to say restart his career, but also just reboot, given, you know, he's probably a little bit surplus to requirements, considering he was a £100 million player at Man City, and, you know, wasn't getting the starts. He'll come to Everton, he'll have a big role to play in that midfield, and I think the fans will take to him straight away. There'll be a lot of expectation from him, of course there will. You know, that's the kind of expectations Evertonians have on the team, not just individual players, but he'll be one individual player that we will be looking to almost as like a talisman, because he's that kind of player. Reading a few bits about his interview that, I mean, it hasn't been put online yet, but it was on, if you've had an email through from Everton, basically saying that, you know, once he'd spoken to David Moyes, this was the only place he wanted to be. You know, Evertonians have flooded him with messages of support, telling them, you know, come to Everton, you'll have an absolute scream, you'll be loved, you'll get that adulation that he probably craves, I think. But I think also, like I said, he needs that he needs to play, that needs to be there to be the main man in the side. He needs that limelight, really. He's that kind of player that, you know, he needs to be the centre of attention, you know, and we'll give him that free rein. I think with him, Ndiaye, Keenan Dewsbury-Hall and Garner Gay in that midfield, that's superb. You know, if that supply line then comes in for Beto, for Tieno Barry, we're onto something. And he wins free kicks here, there and everywhere, and you know, it's not just about him winning free kicks, he scores goals as well. We know this. He's more than capable of creating stuff, but he does win free kicks around crucial areas, and if that's the case, then you're going to probably see, you know, our set piece goals probably increase, because we'll have more opportunities to, you know, at least get a chance. You'll probably see more goals from Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Jake O'Brien as a result of literally this fella coming to Everton. You know, and you know, so let's talk about the money side of it. Obviously, £300,000 wages a week, you know, it is definitely something to balk at. But obviously something's been done between the club, Jack himself, and, you know, from what I'm reading, bits from Alan Myers and the like, you know, he's moved heaven and earth to make this happen. So whether that means he's taken a substantial cut, whether he's agreed to, you know, forego wages, I don't know. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're going to be paying a substantial amount, and City aren't going to be like, well, we don't want you just to pay nothing. You know, unless we've come up with a fee of, you know, we'll pay the loan fee and that will cover his wages, or they've foregone the loan fee. We just don't know. But very exciting signing. You know, you've probably seen some of the pictures already. You know, if you're taking the number 18 shirt, which was worn by Gascoigne and by Wayne Rooney, who he's even come out and said, you know, they were his favourite players. He spoke to Wayne earlier in the week about, you know, coming to Everton and taking the number 18 shirt. You know, but then who else from number 18? Ashley Young, you know, and the great Joe Parkinson as well. You know, another great midfielder. You know, one of my all-time heroes, Joe Parkinson. So for him to have the number 18 shirt as well, it's great for me. But I'm going to sign off now, because I'm absolutely buzzing with this, and hopefully, you know, this is the catalyst to bring in a couple of more signings, maybe Tyler, maybe in. We've also looked at Amad Fatawu at Leicester. You know, Tyler, maybe that's a smokescreen to say whether we want Tyler Dibling or not. I think they're going to be signings that are going to run to the line and go to the very end of the transfer deadline day, but we'll wait and see. You know, there's still time. But 6 signings in, six players in, and you know, new contracts for the likes of Jared Branthwaite as well. This has been an excellent transfer window for Everton. We haven't won it, I'm not saying nothing like that, but it has been very good. It's been really exciting, and hopefully there's more players to come in. You know, at least I think we made 6. If we can come away with another 2-3 max, I think that'd be us, unless we can come up with some sort of loan deals for a couple of extra players that would just become squad players. Who knows? But we need players more than anything. You know, we had a 16-man squad in America. We brought in another 3 or 4 there in the meantime. So hopefully, you know, a few more signings and everyone will be really happy going into the new stadium. But let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure everyone's going to be really happy with this one. Keep liking and subscribing to the channel as always. Until then, up fucking toffees, Colin Chong, and we'll see you at Leeds.